Hi guys, it's Phil Montgomery from Philville. I've had people ask me, I'm always around Philville, and they say, what's your house look like? So just giving an outside peek there. And there's a beekeeper's porch. Got all my bee boxes there. I have jars on the front porch with bees cleaning them out. I have sugar in them. Here's a beautiful look at the front of my house. Ain't it awesome? God, it's so good. Here's a beehive over there. I got to move that one this year. I got some bees that weren't friendly, and my wife got on me, said, you need to move them farther away from the house. It's the first time I ever had that. I had to kill the queen a couple times. She swarmed, and then I killed that one. Then I had to get back in the box and kill another one. I had to kill 2 queens to get rid of that, but I got rid of it. Here's my garden. A mostly organic garden, but this is the only place that I use nitrogen. I didn't know how to get enough nitrogen to grow a patch of sweet corn. This year, I tried a new technique, and what I did was I just broadcast the corn and got my disc and ground it in there. And it worked good. I planted too much seed, so it was a little too tight. Here's a neat trick that I learned in organic gardening: is you just burn a fire, and the black stuff there is going to be biochar, and then all the ash will end up being potash that'll go into your garden. And what you do, this goes downhill. It's on its way to the big pond down there. It's 3/4 acre pond. I love that pond. So good. I want to make it bigger. But what happens is if you put it on the top, through gravity and through water, it'll just move slowly down the hill. So I also throw deer parts in here. And I got a bunch of scrap wood from a knife factory I used to work at, and I'll burn all this, and then I will pull the ash on down the hill. I've planted a whole bunch of fruit trees. I have 60 fruit trees that are planted here, and another bit of that burning. I planted 60 fruit trees, and I still have only got a few apples. It's a bummer. But here's what I've learned: is that you can grow berries at the bottom of trees, and they really like it. They don't really like full sun. If you see, I got some deer parts there, and then those will break down, and the hair and all that stuff will give nutrients to the tree. This is a pear tree. And then what I did, I took a whole bunch of sawdust. The fellow I worked for has a wood shop. We worked on knives, and he also makes knife cases. And I got a whole bunch of wood to put around here because mulch is king. And if you do that, your trees won't need very much water. I'm from the suburbs of Cincinnati, and I love all this country stuff, man. I love it. There's my archery target. Shouldn't leave these out in the sun. The UV rays kill the bag, so I didn't take good care of that one. And if you see, shoot off my porch there, it's about 50 yards. Here is my chicken tractor. The reason I'm doing this, a lot of people have been asking about, what's Philville like? I'm thinking about building a weekend getaway for people to come stay. If you think that's a good idea, let me know. Here's my chickens. They're outside. They're really nice chickens. It's the first time in a long time it started to stink. It does stink some in here. That's just because they're not been allowed out. That chicken's looking a little raggedy. Probably molting. There's our rooster, Big Blackie. He's nice, except for I hate that sucker. He crows at 4:30 in the morning. 4:30. It ain't even peaking daylight, and that sucker starts cock-a-doodle. Here's a little box. What we do in this box is we throw gravel in that box. And the reason you do that is so they can get their grit, and they can also dust in there. They like to have dust. So we go down to the creek, and we just get buckets of sand and gravel. It's also softer on them because it's been rounded a lot. This right here is something that I do that I think's neat. It's got a lot of clover and grass in there. And what I do, I let it grow up really big. I'll let it grow up really tall, and then I'll let the chickens out of that door, and they'll come in here and eat. And if you see, I have a watering system. The watering system, I'll explain it here in just a minute. I also got a little rooster here. I'm going to raise turkeys this year. We raise turkeys every other year. We raise meat, chickens in the chicken tractor. What you do with this, it's a little bit heavy and a little bit tall. My girls complained about how heavy it was, but what you do is you get a strap on the front. I broke it last year. I tried hose for a strap, but that gets weathered and it breaks. There's another deer target, archery target. And what you do, you make an access there, and then you put feed and water in here, and then every day you just pull it one length. That'll give them all this new grass. So what happens, I plant a bunch of clover up there in the front, and then what I'll do, I'll pull them all the way up, let them eat the clover, which is real healthy for them. They get bugs and grubs, and they can scratch and do all the healthy stuff they need. They get sun, water, all the foliage they need. And then it also gives them a little bit of exercise. I learned when I was researching this that animals that exercise and have muscle are more juicy. Here is a field that used to be all a big clover patch, and the grass took it over. I don't spray chemicals wherever I'm doing my animals that I'm eating. And so the grass took it over. I have to replant it. Here's one of the nemesis of my farm. It's daggone honey locust. Isn't it weird? The honey locust tree does not give honey, but the black locust does. Ain't that weird? This is a big tarp. What I'm going to do with the big tarp is fold it out. And then what it'll do, it'll kill the grass. It's a way, this thing's really huge. It's a way to organically kill grass instead of using Roundup. You just take a big, huge tarp, fold it out, and then it'll suffocate the grass. Over there is some of my farm implements. I'm from the suburbs. I never did any of that stuff. It's cool. I really like it. In here is a garden that is full of fruit trees that have not given me any daggone fruit. It's a real bummer. I do make great berries, though. I've had fantastic success growing berries. And so I'm going to not buy any more fruit trees, but I am going to invest in more effort to make more berries. That's a real good apple tree. This is a peach tree. I have about 20 fruit trees in here. It gives off really good. Let's see, I own about 45 acres. Isn't that great? I was raised in a 2-bedroom apartment next to the railroad tracks. That place was a bummer to live in. Here's a turkey feeder or chicken feeder. All you do, you pour it in the top and it goes out in the bottom. You put that little piece of metal on the bottom so it just don't pour right out. Let's see. Take in my chicken coop. See, it's got a little ramp there. They like that. They have no trouble at all getting up and down that. We have had a hard time. Look at the double doors. So you got to have 2 locks on the door. We have 3, because what coons will do, they'll come down here and they'll grab this and they'll pull it open. Coons are smart, and they're mean too. They're not the little pleasant, fluffy animal that you may think they are. We got our feed there. It's got water in it. We do that to let it to ferment just a little bit. Helps them to be able to digest food. We got a water. I put some electric out here, and I can plug it in here. We have a fan for when it gets hot. We have windows. We've never had a predator get in here to eat our chickens. Got a mountain of poop right there. What I'm going to do with it, I'm going to take it to put it into my compost to make organic fertilizer. And then what I do at the end of the year, really the spring of the year, I take all these wood chips in here, and what I do, they're full of poop and they're partially broke down. What you do, you leave them in there in the winter and they start breaking down a little bit. And then what they do is that they create a little bit of compost. Learning to make compost is a great thing if you want to be an organic gardener. Let's see. I started putting a fence around here, and then I ended up, the door got ripped off. I need to fix it. It's laying there. I got comfrey. Comfrey's there. That stuff's neat. Use it for chop and drop, and a lot of people use it. It's also called bone knit, and it's supposed to help bones fix. Good for healing. Over here, I got to get in here with a lawnmower. There's blackberries here. See, look, I got blackberry seeds here. So what you do is you just simply take them, let nature do its thing. See if you can get some more blackberries. That's how nature does it. So we're going to do it here too. Surprised the birds haven't eaten it. But that's how you organically plant stuff. Just do the seeds. So here's a couple more. You know, you want to have your blackberries in an area because they take up quite an area. I'm gonna put them in here. I think the comfrey also, it also chokes everything else out around it. I'm trying to do it down here. So here's a grape that I've never been able to get to grow. I mean, it's getting age on it, but just hasn't grown very well. Apple tree, more blackberries. If you ever want to multiply blackberries, there's a thing called tipping. And what you do is you take this and you dig a little hole and you shove this in the ground like that and put a rock on top of it. What'll happen when it starts growing, that tip will grow roots. And then after it grows roots, you chop it right here. And that's how it does it. See where all these leaves are gone? That's because the deer ate them. This is our strawberry patch. You see it has a whole bunch of, this is asters, which it shouldn't be in here. So this stuff is not, see all that? I just planted about 5 million seeds in the middle of my strawberries. But this is good to give us about 3 gallons of strawberries. There's more blackberries over there, more peaches. If you have any tips on helping me to get my place to fruit, let me know. I think it's a little bit low on elevation. So if you look, it goes up. I live on, this is the bottom of my property. It's not quite near the creek, but it's about 50-foot elevation above the creek. And I wonder if that's why I have not gotten any fruit. These are tobacco sticks. I found these in my barn. These are great for gardening. I should have put those up. I didn't know they were still there. It's a shame to waste them. There's a bunny. See the bunny just run? We might give a little bunny hunting this year. There's another one of those daggone honey locusts. Isn't it weird the honey locusts don't give honey, but the black locusts do? Whoever originally named that missed it. They absolutely missed it. Here's my number 3 beehive. They give me honey, and they did a really great job. I will gladly, I'm going to go this year and I'm going to use the Day Marie system on them. And in hopes that when I put the bees on the top, when I separate the brood from the queen, that when she makes a bunch of cells, I'll cut the cells out. If you don't have your own Philville, maybe you call it Susieville or Jimville or put a cool name on it, go get one. I'll tell you, I'm from the suburbs. It's worth it. I'd turn around, I would turn this camera around where I can talk to you, but every time I do, it turns my video off. I have beehives all around my place. I love it. I love beekeeping. It's lots of fun. I really enjoy having a farm. That is so cool to have a farm. I was from the suburbs of Cincinnati and have so many people, and there's always somebody wanting to tell you how they want you to live, and people with rules and regulations and cops, and some of you folks probably have HOAs you have to deal with. That's a stupid thing. I hate that. I don't want to allow other people to give me what they think about how I should live. I ain't gonna live like that. There's my tiller. If you've never had a rear tine tiller, you need to get one, man. They're so good when it comes to gardening. Old farm buildings are cool. This farm is old. This barn that I had, this is a new section of the barn, but the barn was from 1800s. It was built without nails. You know, it was I can't remember what they call it, but it's maybe a peg and hole, something along those lines. Here's my beehives here. I got Got a bunch of bees here, so this is kind of neat. Look at all these bees here. They're very active, and you see them out flying. But what they're doing, they're just getting out to take a break from the bad weather and use the potty. That's what they're doing. You see I got man's second best friend, really third best friend. Man's best friend's his dog. Hopefully his second best friend is his partner, his wife. And then the third best friend will be duct tape. It's a great tool. We use it for all kinds of stuff. Look at these guys. These are neat. If you're not into honeybees, you need to try it. They're scary at first, but after you have done it for a while, you lose the fear. I'm not even wearing a mask or nothing. This part of my property, the dirt is really, really poor. So I wish I could have a couple cows and put in here and let them poop all over and turn this into a good piece of soil. I'm going to do that someday when my life calms down. Having cows is like a whole nother job. This would be a perfect place to put a couple cows. Up there I have a pond, and I even have a diving board that a friend of mine gave me, but when I tried to build the mount, it didn't work, and then it's just one of the projects that never got done. Here's more of my beehives down here. Oh, look at that, it fell out. I had all these boxes stacked up and they fell down. Huh. I did that for a wind break. They're doing the same thing here. They're out using the bathroom. If you see here, what I did was I put a board here in front. The reason I did that was to keep air from blowing in. It's pretty neat. I like bees. If you're not into bees, give it a shot. Go find some that's into it. Put on a bunch of protective gear and go and try it out. Just go in, get in a beehive, hold a frame of bees, and see if you like it. Here's my old barn. It's cool. I was selling a bunch of barn wood. These here have been pallets I got from a fellow I used to work for, and I'm gonna make these into beekeeping pallets to put beehives on. Having an old tractor is cool. This is a Model 800 Ford. It's run okay. It shouldn't be out in the cold. It should probably stay warm. It don't like to go without being ran. I don't have power in here yet, but I'm gonna have power in here this year. That's one of my favorite things about this place is the party tree. I messed it up some when we first moved here. If you look at there on the right in here somewhere, there's a branch. I had to cut it off, and then this road, it goes across one of its roots, and it don't seem to like it. But that's a party tree that we, anytime we had parties, we poured a concrete pad right here. That's where I'm working on these wood pallets. And we'd have food right here. Here's another look at my old barn. It's a little junky right now, but it's winter. I have a kayak I did use. This one of my favorite spots is the wood burner, or the fire pit. And we have lots of fires. I'm thinking about having a VRBO or a weekend retreat out here. If you guys think that's a good idea and you would be interested in coming to stay, let me know. It's my favorite part of Philville, which is my pond. Me and an old friend of mine dug it with a bulldozer. It took us about a month. Had to do the dam twice. It's 3/4 of an acre. I desire to make it an acre. And one of these times when I hit a windfall of money, I will do it. Me and some kids from the church, we had a young men's group, built this. Me and a guy named Zeke built this. It's fun. If you have land, dig a pond. It cost me about 13 grand worth of equipment rental to build this pond. It was worth it. When I first did it, it was 13 foot deep. Let's see. You've seen most of Philville. This is just a bunch of scrap wood. I don't put trash in there mostly. Mostly it's wood that'll rot. A little bit of trash, mostly just wood. It's helping me to, maybe some porcelain. It's helping me to hold that pipe down, the drainage pipe. And then here's the bottom of Philville, which is more beehives. There's another cool oak. This is where I'm thinking about building a VRBO. Is right here. It's a nice field. It's got a view of the pond, and it's a cool spot. End it back in our honeybees. After I'm done with this, I'm gonna go sit near the pond and just think about life. Isn't it cool? Look at the bees working. They're out using the bathroom, looking for something to eat. This is my winter setup. I have one of my strongest hives here, and right here, there's a thing called a double screen board. That's where you put divider, 2 layers of screen, and then you put another hive on top. This is another hive up top up here. And so there's really 2 hives in there. The one on top is a smaller hive, and it shares the heat from the bottom. It hurts the bottom one a little bit, but it helps the smaller hive on top to make it. And they're doing really good. Everybody looks like they're doing really good, which is great. The last thing I will circle around is to the fishing hut. This is my fishing hut. I call this the fishing hut. This is my man cave. And this is no girls allowed. I have 4 daughters. No girls allowed in here. And the only girl in here has got to kiss her way in. Her name's Mary Lynn. And she is one good looking girl. I've had her for over 30 years. And if she wants to come in, she's got to smooch her way in. I am bribable by kisses. Oh, this is neat too. I forgot to show you this. This is my well, Old Faithful. Even in a drought, there used to be a house. There was a house built right here. There's some scrap wood from it right there. There was a house right here. And this pond, or this well, has never not given me water from 3 pumps. Let's see if we can do it this time. 1, 2, 3. See, now it comes out dirty because it hasn't been used in a couple months. But if you watch, there he goes. It's already crystal clear. We did a home test on it. It didn't have any nitrates in it. Look at that. It hadn't been used in months. And this supported a family. They lived here. And look, you don't have to pump it hard. You just easily pump it. And it'll give you all the water you want. My girls always ram into it with a lawnmower. They always hit it. Every girl has. And then this here is my fishing hut. It's cool. I did a very poor job building this. I was not a carpenter, did not have any training. I screwed up some of the build, but I learned from it. Right here, this is my favorite place in the world, right here. So right here, I spend a lot of my life right here just chilling. I heard a video of Greg from New Image Farms said he has a thinking couch or thinking chair, and I thought, yeah, I need a place just to think. Well, this is my thinking place. I love it. And then when it's hot and sunny, we sit up here. Me and my wife spend a lot of time down here. I hope you enjoyed the view of Philville, or the tour of Philville. I encourage you, go get your own. It's worth the money. It's worth the payment. It's worth the sacrifice. Whatever you have to do to get your place where nobody will mess with you, where you're left alone and you're at peace and you have joy, and you can enjoy nature and enjoy your family without, some other person going yang yang yang. Nobody cares what they think about where you live. So having a place where you can be happy and be unmolested and not messed with is the greatest thing I've ever done. I worked many, many, many years to get here, 60, 70 hours a week. If you can't get whatever you need on 40, work 50. If you can't get whatever you need on 50, work 60, and so on and so on. Most of my life, I worked 70 hours a week. And it's worth it. It's totally worth it, because I didn't want to be one of those men that died and said, boy, I wish I would have, or boy, I sure could have, but I didn't have the heart. Go for your dreams. You can do it. If nobody else has faith in you, I do. Be blessed.